Come on.
Please, to the almighty Norse gods, please be good.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of X to Interact, the last episode of 2022. We're going to be talking a lot about 2023, what games are coming out. I'm Sam. I am here with Steven. I'm here with Gaff. Eric is not with us today, but we do have a super special replacement by Matt Storm from a lot of podcasts, and he is going to tell you about them now.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here. I'm a fan of the show. I really enjoyed your talk about Violet and Scarlet, actually, as I'm a person who is in love with that game, but frustrated with it at the same time.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I am a podcaster, producer, and editor. I've been working in and around podcasting for about a decade. I host a ton of stuff, and I will try and keep it brief here. But the one that I probably would best be to promote on a video game show is my video game podcast, which is called Fun and Games. I host with my incredible co-host Jeff Moonen. We talk about the games industry. We interview developers. We tend to focus a lot on indie games. We've had some incredible conversations with some composers, developers, and creators over the last few years. Probably our biggest episode is we had Yuri Lowenthal on not once but twice, which was fun.
Whoa. That was a great episode, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, he's a delight. And the second time he asked to come back. So, like, as far as I'm concerned, I'm best friends with Yuri now. Like, it's just tell the world.
That's just it, yeah.
But no, he's a delight, and that was fun. But yeah, we've done really cool stuff. I was able to cover PAX West this year for the first time. We covered PAX East and had a panel at that show this past year, which was neat. But besides that, I'm also a freelance editor for the Game Informer show, hosted by Alex Van Aken, which is also a lot of fun to do. That's an incredible show with some great folks over there at Game Informer. And then I have a Mass Effect podcast that actually, as of another few weeks, won't be a Mass Effect podcast anymore. It's called Reignite. We're playing through the entire trilogy and then Andromeda as if we were the lead characters and discussing our choices that we make. I do with my incredible co-host. But we just are about to wrap up Andromeda, which I played for the first time for the podcast. And it's exciting to move on to a new franchise. We haven't decided what quite yet, but folks who know how much we love Mass Effect and BioWare can probably guess the next long-running franchise that we will dive into.
Wonder.
But that's really exciting, and I got kind of emotional as we started to wrap up because I hadn't played Andromeda before, but my co-host had, and it was really fun to experience this game now beyond the complaining and the bugs and everyone like giving it such a hard time, because I think there's a really good game in there somewhere. Like, the writing, I think, and the characters are still some of the best in the franchise. It's just a shame that it got bogged down in all the BS that EA has put a lot of games through.
Right.
But I'm excited because we are going to go into new stuff and the show will continue. And so, yeah, those are like the major things I do. And then beyond that, I'm, of course, a freelance editor and producer as well. I've worked on a ton of pop culture stuff like Shut Up Evan and a few other things here and there. But yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me. I'm a fan of the show, and I dig what y'all do, so I'm happy to be here.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you
for being here. I'm gonna be listening to that Mass Effect podcast for sure now. I'm gonna have to go back into the records for that one. Mass Effect 2 is my Icebreaker, favorite game of all time.
Ooh, I mean, gun to my head, it's Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger is the best game ever made, the best JRPG. It has some of the best music in gaming history. And then like runner-ups are Mass Effect 2 and then, of course, Shovel Knight. Although my replay of Mass Effect 3 on the Legendary Edition, I think it's a much better game than people give it credit for. The last 10 minutes are worth 100%. Arguing over, but it's some of the tightest mechanics in the franchise. So, But yeah, definitely number one is Chrono Trigger. I've played that game way, way too many times.
I love Mass Effect 3 as well. Mass Effect 2 is my favorite game of all time, though. All right, well, let's dive head deep,
2023,
toes deep into 2023. There are a lot of games coming out next year. We are using the Game Informer 2023 release calendar. A lot of ports, a lot of new games, and it will get thinner and thinner as we go. But let's start with January. On January 12th, a game called Lone Ruin is coming to Switch and PC. I have never heard of this game.
Not familiar. It looks like an indie
Nope.
product.
Yeah, it does look like indie. The art style almost looks like Hyper Light Drifter, but
Yeah.
all right. Vengeful Guardian Moonrider coming to PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Switch, PC on January 12th as well. January 13th, we have Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Any Dragon Ball Z fans here?
I am. I bought Kakarot when it first came out because I'm a diehard like old school DBZ fan, and like the idea of playing an RPG as Goku is like the thing we've always wanted. But I didn't get very far in it. I only played I think 5 or 6 hours, and so if this is a free upgrade for the PS5, if you own the PS4 version, which I do, I might jump back in. Like it was already a very pretty game, very stylized, of course, done by Akira Toriyama. But I'm curious to see what the PS5 upgrade version, like what's really that different because it's animated and it's very cell shaded. But it might be worth going back to.
All right. Next day is One Piece Odyssey. Does anybody here want? I think no. Eric did not put this on his list. I thought he did, but
neither would I.
you wouldn't either, Gav.
The One Piece
Anybody
games have
watch
not
One
had a
Piece?
great
I don't
track
watch it.
record, to be honest. There was one that was like One Piece World, and it was like an open world kind of Luffy game, but they haven't really had a great track record to my knowledge. So I don't know.
This was a big deal at PAX West. They had like a huge setup for it and a lot of people demoing it. I've heard it's very good based on what the early reports were, but I don't know. It's supposed to be like a true One Piece RPG, a new story by the original creator, all that kind of stuff. So I'm curious to see how it does. But you're right. A lot of, especially anime games that are like kind of not sure what genre to fit in, don't tend to do well. Dragon Ball Z, when it broke outside of fighting games, struggled for many years. And still, arguably, besides fighters, has continued to struggle.
Yeah. I agreed on both points there.
Next is go ahead.
No, sorry, go ahead.
Next is A Space for the Unbound, January 19th, coming to everything. Colossal Cave, January 19th, coming to everything. Well, not everything, but not PS4 and like the past consoles. Persona 4 Golden. Gab, you getting this one?
Oh yeah, I am. Especially because it's I don't know if it's official, but everyone thinks it's gonna be out for like 20 USD, which is gonna be like 30 Canadian. So, which is a fair price for a game this old, and it's just a port, right? I already played it once on the PC, and I'll play it again on Xbox, just like I'm playing Persona 5 Royal right now on Xbox. Can't wait. My favorite Persona game ever.
It was my first Persona game, so I'm stoked for it.
Eric did not put this on his list. He did
What a
not put
monster.
Persona 4 Golden. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised.
Big
but
fan.
he did put the next one. He did put Persona 3 Portable on his list, which comes out the same day because they're. So are these a package deal, or they come out separately?
No, they're still separate games.
Separately.
Yeah.
Okay.
I may buy it. I'm not so certain I'll play it because obviously Persona 3 is the oldest one. It's going to be the least. It's going to feel the least modern. But I will buy out of obligation.
Oh wait, Eric in chat does say he has Persona 4 Golden on Steam, so doesn't need it again. I guarantee he's getting Persona 3 Portable for Steam so he can play it on his Steam Deck and then brag about it for ever.
Maybe this is a bad time to mention that I have Persona 4 Golden on Steam and been playing it on my Steam Deck.
Never a bad time, I'm just a little jealous. All right? Not of that specific game, but of just the Steam Deck.
Deck boys.
Next is like our first. I feel like our first like fully fledged big new release, which is Fire Emblem Engage, coming to Switch on January 20th. This is obviously on Eric's list. I think he's the only one in the normal podcast that's interested in that one.
I wouldn't say I'm
cool,
Yeah. Go ahead, Gav.
It looks cool, but it's not for me.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I'm disinterested, but I have tried and just brushed against the combat of Fire Emblem pretty much every time. So And I doubt they're changing that for this one. So, you know.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. I wasn't at first, so I loved Three Houses. When Three Houses came out, once I heard that there was like social links and like you could like hang out with the other students and like, you know, build relationships. I love that's why I love Mass Effect and a lot of those other kinds of RPGs is building those relationships. And I really enjoyed Three Houses. It's a long game and I wanted to replay it, but I ended up not. But I enjoyed it and I enjoyed the DLC. I had not played any other Fire Emblem game before that. So like it was just my first experience. I played other tactics games, but it was my first Fire Emblem and I loved it. And so seeing the trailers for this, it seemed more straightforward, more tactics focused. I was like, oh, I don't know. But the recent gameplay trailer did show like you can still bond with your squad mates and all that stuff. And so I probably will pick it up just to see if Three Houses was an anomaly or if Three Houses was the start of a love affair with this franchise, because it's hard to tell at this point.
Yeah. I feel like Eric started with that game I know he got into Fire Emblem more recently than like
I know it was the Switch, if I'm right, that he started a Fire Emblem journey on. So
yeah. But yeah, I know he's excited for that one. Next, which is one I'm like kind of interested in, see if I have anybody to play this with, is Monster Hunter Rise coming to PlayStation and Xbox. Yeah, that one will just depend if I have somebody to play with. I've never gotten super deep into Monster Hunter games. Played Monster Hunter World a little bit, but never had anybody to play it with because my brother refused to get it.
I have it. I'm just saying, I have it.
You have Monster Hunter World?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
I loved Rise when it first came out on Switch, but if they don't have crossplay or cross progression, rather, I probably won't play it on. Like, it's going to be on Game Pass, and like PC Game Pass is like my entry to everything. But if I can't pick up where I left off on Switch on PC, I don't want to start over again.
It's a bunch of grinding. Yeah.
They're a lot of fun with other people, but like to grind for the armor and certain monsters, it's just a pain in the ass by yourself.
Yeah, hopefully that seems like the type of thing that should have cross progression, but you never know. Sometimes they don't. When you most want them to. Next is Kart Rider Drift. January
this
23rd.
one, day one, dude. Day
coming to PC, iOS, and Android. Let's talk about that one for 20 minutes. A game that I am excited for, I don't know that I'll get it on day one, is January 23rd, SpongeBob, SquarePants, and the Cosmic Shake. I love SpongeBob. Like, I grew up on him. I'm very excited to have another SpongeBob game. But like I said, I doubt I'll buy it day one because it'll probably be on sale sooner rather than later. So might as well wait a little bit.
This one because I think it's the same team who did the remake are now getting an original game to do, which is always interesting when like someone remakes a game that existed and then that they let that team build one from the ground up. Because I don't think the Cosmic Shake is another remake. I think it's a brand new SpongeBob
it's a brand new. Yeah, it's brand new.
I'm curious to see how that does, especially like in an age where platformers are hit or miss, but like it's got the property name behind it. I'm curious to see how well it does.
Yeah. I remember I played like a bunch of the old platformers. Yeah.
I'm probably gonna buy it. Just saying.
I'm gonna buy it. Just depends when, you know.
Right. On a sale, probably, but you know.
And same goes for the next game, which is Forspoken on January 24th, coming to PlayStation 5 and PC. I played the demo of this game. I talked about it last week, I think, on the podcast. Enjoyed my time with it. The combat is fun. The world seems kind of empty. The traversal can kind of be a little bit janky, but it still like feels a little bit. It feels pretty fluid enough, I guess, between combat and just running around the world outside of combat as well. But the writing is what's gonna keep me kind of looking at reviews like to see if I want to get this game. Because if the writing's terrible, there's no way I'm getting it.
Yeah, the consistent thing I've heard is that like it looks gorgeous and it plays pretty well, but the writing is kind of cheesy. And like I've had a bunch of POC friends who are like, this character is a cliche and not really representing us. And so
Yikes.
That's a bummer to hear, especially with a person of color as the lead character. Like, it's exciting to have some diversity, and then to find out that they're kind of cookie cutter is like, that's kind of a bummer. So I guess we'll see.
She's complaining about her shoes a lot. That's like the main takeaway I got. That's the
It's
main story
rough,
beat,
man.
that it seemed like they really wanted to drill into your head in the demo. Yeah,
Yikes.
and I don't know. There's like some narrator that's like not there, I guess, but is like talking to you and you're interacting with. It's bizarre. Yeah, we'll see how the reviews are on that one before I spend my money on it.
Yeah.
And it's a PS5 or PlayStation console game only, so my guesses are it's going to be on PS Plus at some point. So
That's usually a safe bet.
yeah, might wait for it, especially if Dead Space January 27th gets really good reviews.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. It's funny, like I have a love-hate relationship with horror games because I'm a coward.
Hey, same.
Me too.
But during the height of the pandemic that's ongoing, I feel like I always need to state because
Right. Like it's not gone.
people are still getting sick. But like I had a lot of free time. I was between day jobs, and so I was like, you know what? Let me stream more. And I realized I had both Dead Space games 1 and 2, and I was like, I've never played these, and I liked Resident Evil 4 because it was more action oriented. I should try this. And they were horrifying, but doing it with a chat and playing it live was a lot of fun, especially since most of my friends who would tune in knew the game already and were like egging me on and like messing with me.
Yeah.
And so I really played them recently, and I was like, I don't know that Dead Space need a remake, but then seeing all of the improvements that they've made, I'm like, oh, okay, I can see how this looks better for next gen. But that said, like Resident Evil 2's remake, I'm afraid it's going to be too scary now because it's going to be more realistic. And so I don't know. I want to play it, but like
Right.
I like when horror games are more action oriented and creepy than they are like jump scares because
Exactly.
I'm too old for that.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. I hate jump scares. Yeah, so if it's more action, I'm pretty good, but yeah, scary movies or scary games. Playing The Last of Us, I had to like play
Yeah.
and 30 minutes to an hour at a time because I just couldn't handle that shit. But yeah, I'm intrigued by it. I've never played the original Dead Space, so and if I buy this game, I'll get Dead Space 2, right?
Yeah. The full remake that they're gonna haven't even announced.
That's such a weird thing. Like, why would I want to go play Dead Space 2 after playing a full-on remake of like the original?
It's gonna be that good. That's
downgrade. It'd be a downgrade,
We have to see the story played out after the first one, right?
Guess so. Yeah. Next is Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. So bring that to the current gen consoles. There you go, baby.
I'm sure Jacob is out there screaming somewhere.
If they did this with Age of Empires 3, I'd be on board. They classic. It's the one I grew up playing.
Did they port 4 to consoles already, or is that still incoming?
I don't think so. I think that's still only PC.
Okay.
Maybe actually,
which is a shame.
Because I do like 4. I do like 4 a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I like all the Age of Empires. It's just 3 is the one I'm the most familiar with because it's the one I played.
Yeah.
But 2 is like, I believe, recognized as like the best one. So it makes sense they're bringing this to consoles. The last January game, January 31st, Season: A Letter to the Future. That sounds like an indie game if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, it's actually the first indie game coming out next year that I'm looking forward to. Season got announced.
Oh, that's right.
The middle of last year, and it's got this beautiful cel-shaded artwork.
Yeah,
it looks like a very narrative-driven game, and I love those. I love those on the Switch, which this isn't going to be on initially. But if it's on PC, maybe I'll get on Steam and play it. Like, it feels like most indie games to me feel at their best on handhelds. Like, it's just, I love handheld gaming also. And so this one looks like it's going to be one of those like heartwarming stories that's going to be fun to engage and get lost in for a little bit. So I'm excited for this one.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the trailer on Steam. This looks cool. This looks like right up my alley.
Seems like a new game for sure.
yeah, it definitely is. That caps off January. Let's get into the second month of the year, February, which is actually, I think on a longer list than January.
Yeah,
so
these first few months are stacked.
Oh,
yeah,
unbelievable.
they are. And like even the ones that we don't have dates for, it
Yeah.
makes the year even more stacked. If they all come out, which is the caveat.
Right.
On February 2nd, we have Deliver Us Mars, which sounds cool, but I have no idea what that is. The next game is one that has been talked about a lot, Hogwarts Legacy. I am cautiously optimistic for this game.
Yeah.
Still mad they don't have Quidditch.
I'm right there with you, man. Like, I am so excited about the idea of this game. And hey, they put out 2 gameplay showcases that make it look kind of good. So I'm really, really interested in those reviews.
Yeah, it's one of those games that, like, before J.K. Rowling outed themselves as a horrible transphobe, I would have been excited for when I was younger.
Yeah.
And look, there's no ethical consumption under capitalism. I still play Overwatch. I never played Red Dead Redemption 2, right? Like, you pick your battles. Like,
Sure.
all these companies and people are imperfect, but like, I can't bring myself to play it. I hope that the people who still love Harry Potter and have made their peace with J.K. Rowling's BS enjoy it, but like, I don't even know what to think of this game anymore. And you're right, like, it doesn't even look good on top of it. Like, the most recent article I saw on Game Informer, like, they're featuring torture and like the dark art spells as like a mechanic, and that
that's fucked up.
really uncomfortable. Like, it should be about the botany and all of the kind of cool like classroom stuff, not
See, that's where I would be
torture.
interested, right? Where you get the kind of persona where you're checking in with your classroom people and like,
I want to be a dark wizard. I don't know about you guys, but
so
it's messed up, man.
My take is like,
these are kids.
I haven't made peace necessarily with J.K. Rowling, but in my head, I can separate the art from the creator here enough to still enjoy it. I know other people, that's kind of their thing, and I won't begrudge them that, but I still enjoy it. So I'm hoping this game is going to be more than just bad kind of mechanics. It seems the combat, looking kind of button mashy, and then they had this I don't know if it's a dev diary or just like gameplay of them recently with IGN, and they're showing off the flight mechanics on a broom and on a hippogriff. So it's like, what you can do that, but you can't implement the best part of the flying mechanics, which is the Quidditch. It's just a little bit confusing to me, some of the decisions that are being made. So I don't know. Reviews, definitely I'm going to wait for reviews, but I hope a Hogwarts game can be good. So
I hope it comes to Game Pass / PS Plus soon, so I don't have to actually spend money on it.
Agreed.
Next is Blanc
is how I pronounce it.
Yeah, Blanc. Gearbox Publishing. Okay, that's not what I would have guessed from just looking at the art style.
Well, they've become like, they're publishing more indie games now. Like, they're working with Machine and stuff also. This looks like another one of the. I think I remember seeing the trailer for this. It looks like a narrative-driven kind of cute animal game. But Bambi's burned me one too many times whenever I see cute animals.
I was gonna say it
I'm like, that can't be trusted.
Bambi.
Why am I already crying about this?
This is really cool looking though.
The art style is
it's like
striking.
Black and white, like
it's really pretty.
Kind of like sketch drawing.
Yeah.
Huh. Keep my eye on that one. That's February 14th, Switch and PC. Nice. Wanted Dead coming February 14th to everything. Yep, everything. Theater Rhythm, Final Bar Line. That is a certified Eric game right there. He wants that one. I know my brother's very excited about this game. Got like hundreds of Final Fantasy songs in this game.
One of the biggest Final Fantasy rhythm games yet, I believe. So I'm not a big like rhythm game fan outside of certain kinds. Like I loved Fuser before they decided to kill it, and some other games. But like, yeah, I don't know. I've never played any of the theater rhythm games, but I have friends who love them, like love them. And I mean, the soundtracks are incredible, so I get it. Like,
Yep. Yeah.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get this game. I'm not into rhythm games either. But if I were to get one, nah, never mind. It'd probably be, if I were to get one, it'd be Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory. But that's on PS Plus now. So if I had to buy one, it'd be this one, but not going to.
Yeah.
17th, Tales of Symphonia Remastered is not on Eric's list. Okay.
I'm very excited for this one. Tales of Symphonia. So I played Tales of Arise for the first time this year, and it was my first Tales game too, and it was phenomenal. Oh, it was so good. I loved it. And all of my friends, specifically one Eric Van Allen over at Destructoid, doesn't shut up about Symphonia. He loves the Tales series, and so like I promised that when this came out, like I think I already own it on Steam and was going to play it on the Steam Deck, and then I saw it was coming to Switch on this, and I'm like, oh, forget it. I'd rather play it on my Switch. I love my Steam Deck. The battery life is crap, so I'd rather wait for this Switch version at this point.
Oh, so is the Switch battery life better than the Steam Deck one?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. It depends on the games. Like if you try and play Elden Ring on the Steam Deck, you've got about 40 minutes before that thing dies. But playing indie games on it, it lasts.
Fair enough.
It lasts like 3 or 4 hours. With like if I played Shovel Knight Dig on it. I played The Big Con on it.
Yeah.
Like indie games, you can get a good battery life out of it. Whereas the Switch is more consistently 5 to 6 hours, regardless of game. Pokemon, I think Tax did a bit more, but other
Pokemon, I can get like 2.5 to 3 hours on. I think. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I also Tales of Arise was my first Tales game. Was that come out this year?
It came out. So it came out last year, but I think the PS5 version maybe came out after. I don't remember, but it was like the end of last year, I think. Okay, when it came out.
Yeah, so I played that this year as well. It was my first Tales game. I started Tales of Vesperia on my Switch, and I'm enjoying that one. It is hilarious. There's just some hilarious like dialogue, and the animations are just so funny. They make me laugh so much. So yeah, really starting to enjoy the Tales series. So I'll have to check that one out eventually. Don't know if it will be on release day though. Wild Hearts on February 17th. This game, got to be cautiously optimistic because it's Electronic Arts, but you know, I'll hold hope that it turns out good. And
Monster Hunter like, right?
Believe so. And
Yeah.
it is current gen only. So and PC. So that's cool. We're starting to see more of those games where there's no PS4/Xbox One, which is cool. Atomic Hearts is on February 21st. Steven, I think you're excited for this one.
Oh yeah. It's got some BioShocky vibes, right? That's really kind of what drew me to it initially, but it's a focus home game, so I tend to be hit or miss with those ones. That publisher, obviously it's not every developer is not the publisher, but and I think Focus publishes Divinity, if I'm right. So
listen, I saw their logo countless times at the Game Awards, so they publish a lot.
Yeah.
Like so much.
Well, more now than I remember, but yeah. So the thing is that it's targeting February. I don't know if it's going to hit it. It seems pretty ambitious for. I don't think I've ever heard of this studio. So I hope they can hit it without any kind of crazy crunch or anything like that. I always hate to hear when people are like working 80-hour weeks or anything crazy like that. It's
No, this game already got delayed, right? Wasn't it supposed to come out this year?
I think so. That sounds right.
It was targeting this year.
Yeah, I don't think it ever got like an official release date this year. It was just 2022, and then they pushed it with the actual release date, I believe.
So, interesting note on that, Mick Gordon is supposedly composing the soundtrack for it. And it did have a fall 2022 release window before. So
Okay. So it already did get pushed. So hopefully that means it's the last push, but you never know.
I mean, just take your time, man. It seems like a pretty good game. It looks really pretty, and I hope it's going to be good. So
yeah. February 21st, a game that I am excited for, but I still only play like the other Yakuza games and everything to really get pumped for it. Because I have played a little bit of Yakuza 0, but I just never got all the way through it. Like a Dragon, Ishin, February 21st, coming to everything. Looks awesome. And this is the one, correct me if I'm wrong, that is already this is a
remake. This is
a remake of a game
Japan.
Japan only title. Okay.
The Yakuza franchise is become one of my favorite franchises of all time.
Wow.
Yakuza 0 is one of my favorite games of all time now. I'll make this very long story as short as possible. In 2020, in the summer of 2020, my spouse and I were displaced by a fire in our building in the apartment that we owned. We had to live in a hotel for about a month before we finally got another place to rent. Well, it took 21 months to rebuild our apartment. Long, tragic story, annoying. We'll move on from that. Not looking for the tears on that. We are back in our home now. That's what you mean. So it's all done. But while we were living in that hotel, I had started 0, and I was like, I should play this franchise. And that started me on a path where I devoured 0 and then went on the 1 and 2 remake, then bought the remaster package for 3, 4, and 5. And that all led up to this year where I finally finished Like a Dragon. I've played the entire franchise, and it's become one of my favorite Sega franchises of all time, let alone video game. And when I heard that this one that never came out in the States is getting a remake with the original Japanese voice actors who have been doing the games for a while, I got so excited. I'm so excited for this and the sequel to Like a Dragon proper later this year. Fun fact, it's been called Like a Dragon in Japan apparently the whole time. Yakuza is the American title, and so they're shifting back to Like a Dragon as the title now, which is interesting. I like the Yakuza title. I get why they want to shift it back and make it universal, but I am so hyped for this game. I love this franchise so much. It's both the most dramatic and emotional games I've ever played, and also by far the dumbest and most ridiculous game I've ever played.
We're talking about we're talking about crime lords in diapers offering you formula, and
it's the best. Like, I love that a game can be so serious and make you cry, and also be so ridiculous and make you laugh at the same time. Those are my favorite kinds of games. And so, like, I really encourage anyone who's watching or listening, please play these games. Yakuza 0 is available literally everywhere except on Switch. Play these games. Start with 0. It's great. It's standalone. If you decide you don't want to play anything else, like, just do it. They're great.
Yeah, I have 0 on my PlayStation because I started on my PC, but then I never got through it all the way. I think I was interrupted by my introduction to Xenoblade, and then
that'll do it.
That's it.
Those games consumed me for like months, so never went back to it. But I've always wanted to play them because they look awesome. And like I said, I thoroughly was enjoying my time with 0, but just never got all the way through it. Next is our first VR game of the year called After the Fall. Coming to PlayStation VR 2. So it's only PlayStation VR 2? No. Okay. It is. So why don't they have that there?
And PC apparently as well.
Yeah, because it's coming to PlayStation VR 2, PlayStation VR, and PC.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why. Because it's already on PlayStation VR and PC. It came out on December 9th of last year.
That makes sense.
On those. So this is actually a port of a game that came out last year. Digimon World Next Order, coming to Switch and PC on February 22nd.
Let's go. I'm kidding.
You're not excited for that?
It's a port of it was on the Vita like way back.
Yeah, it's not a new game. It's I've heard that the Digimon games are actually very good. I haven't played them since the PlayStation era, but like Cyber Sleuth, I've heard is like incredible.
Yes. Cyber Sleuth.
I think I've played Digimon World like other games in the Digimon World Series before. They were very, very good. Yeah, I got nothing for this.
Same.
Got nothing. Got nothing. Next is a bigger VR game, PlayStation VR 2, Horizon Call of the Mountain, February 22nd. There's a lot of February 22nd dates here.
That's when the VR2 comes out. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Which I guess
Oh.
I'll mention it. Yeah, the PSVR 2 comes out that day, and so that also means Resident Evil Village VR comes out for PlayStation VR 2
That'll be
as
interesting.
well for 22nd.
I'm curious to see how it does. I never got a PlayStation VR. VR is not for me. I get motion sick. I've tried it. It's cool. But I don't know that I'll ever invest fully in
I
it.
can't afford one, so
I mean, that
Yeah.
too.
It's
Way
also
too
not very.
way too expensive.
It's not very friendly to people with glasses, so that's
Yeah,
a knock
that also.
already.
Mhm.
But yeah.
So I'm not gonna ever get this game because I am not spending that much money on a VR headset that I'm gonna play 2 games on. You know, like
Right.
Yeah.
it is what it is, I suppose. You know, if they want to put Final Fantasy 16 on VR, fine, you got me. All right.
My Quest 2 is a Beat Saber machine, so
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, is Beat Saber playable on non VR or no?
No, it's a VR
It's a
game.
VR game. Yeah, it's meant to be VR. Yeah.
Yeah. Blood Bowl 3. Hells yes. No way I'm
They
gonna
were making a third one.
but the fact that this exists is awesome. We have the board game in our basement of Blood Bowl. Oh my god, classic.
Of all the franchises from like my childhood that I never thought would come back, Blood Bowl
Right.
is one of them.
Yeah.
And the fact that we're getting a third one, I mean, that's great. Like I'm not a big sports game person, fantasy or otherwise, but like I'm glad that it's still knocking around. That's awesome. Like I think that's really cool. I hope this game is good.
Yeah. I'm intrigued by it. Definitely not getting it day one, but it's cool to have it's cool to have a sports game that's not just a Madden sim. So
Yes.
I'll probably get it down the line. Companies of oh my gosh, I can't speak. Company of Heroes 3 is coming to PC on February 23rd. Sons of the Forest on PC February 23rd. Is that a follow up to The Forest or no? Am I making that up?
I mean, it's a horror survival game, so
I think I'm making that up.
You might be, but it's fair to think that
Well, the font's the same.
maybe it is, or maybe it's the same devs. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the follow up to the Forest.
Oh. Didn't know there was.
So that's definitely a pass because that is way too scary.
Yeah.
That game is
I looked at the
fun.
cover art for it. I was like, no, thank you. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'll pass.
no, thank you. I tried playing the first one and I was like, nah, I'm good.
I get scared playing
mean,
Ark, and that's enough.
like survival games, not my thing. And if you're gonna throw some scary stuff in there, definitely not my thing. February 24th, we have Atelier Ryza 3.
Atelier Ryza.
What?
It is Atelier Ryza 3, Alchemist of the
Oh.
End and the Secret Key. Yeah, it's a mouthful, but I've seen these floating around. I've never really been that interested, to be honest.
They're a big Koei Tecmo series. I've not played any of them, but they're your kind of classic RPG game. I mean, the trailer for it looked cool, but I think like the others, like it's numbered, but like you don't have to have played the others to play it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's another RPG coming out this month that I'm way more excited for, so I'd be curious about it, but I don't know that I'll play it.
Yeah.
Now we come to probably the first like guaranteed day one buy for me this year. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, baby.
Yeah,
The-
big Kirby fan too. Hell yeah.
The first Kirby game I ever played was the one was for Forgotten
Oh,
Lands.
really?
Yeah, because I never grew up with like a Nintendo system, so
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah, I'm not big into really any of the Nintendo franchises. Like going back, really, I'm starting on Switch. But Kirby made a fan for life.
Nice.
I love that little pink ball. Very
this
excited
game-
for this one.
I heard that this game was okay on, I believe it was a Wii U release. But I'm excited for the remaster. It's the only game I don't currently own for Kirby that's easily accessible. But like I did a replay on stream of all the Kirby games that I still had up to the release of Forgotten Land, and as a lifelong Kirby fan, that 3D game is like it was picture perfect of what I wanted for Kirby in that space. And you don't always get that. And so I'm excited for this. I don't know if it's gonna be a day one purchase because it is a re-release, and there's another game coming out the same day that I'm more excited for. But I love Kirby, and anything that allows him to be more accessible to a larger audience, I'm here for because he's great.
Yeah. That same game that you mentioned is Octopath Traveler 2 coming into everything. Wait. Oh, not Xbox?
Nope, not
Nope.
Xbox, PlayStation,
Oh.
Switch, and PC.
Did not? No. I'm assuming the first one's not on Xbox then?
It
It
was
is
on
now.
Game. It's on Game Pass
Yeah.
actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it took a while to get there. I'm excited for this one. I loved the first one. I love HD2D. You put any game in HD2D, I'm buying it day one.
Oh,
that Dragon Quest game that's coming in HD2D, day one purchase. But I'm excited for this. I loved the first one. I'm hoping the first one, the stories cross paths with the different characters a little bit, but it was mostly isolated stories.
See,
I'm hoping there's more overlap in this one, but that said, it was still one of the most beautiful, well-written and well-designed games that I'd ever played. I loved the mechanics. I loved the art style. I loved Live Alive earlier this year. It's one of my favorite games of the year. Same thing, HD2D. So, like, I'm a sucker for those games in that style.
I am right there with you. In like, I hope that the stories cross over more meaningfully in this one, because they said, they cross paths and it's all interlinked, but really it was like, a chance interaction with this person, and they talked to this person in this place, and it was kind of small and meaningless in most regards. I loved the dancer story.
Oh my god, so good.
That was so good. Heart-wrenching, but really good. I just feel if they can capture that, they have me. So but like you said, I do hope it amounts to more, being that they cross over. So
yeah.
this next,
so yeah, like I said, not on Eric's list, which I'm surprised by.
it's on Game Pass, Eric.
Next, we'll just let Steven nerd out about this one. Destiny 2 Lightfall coming February 28th.
Go off, Steven.
I'm conflicted, all right? And it's not what you want to hear. I don't know. I'm kind of getting tired of the formula from Destiny. After I've played since Alpha Destiny 1, just like 7 years, right? Things are starting to get like clockwork, and while the story is the best it's ever been, right? And that's the only reason I come back every season for the amazing writing, but like the conceit to how you're getting this story delivered to you. All right, walk up to a thing, hold X to interact with said thing.
Nice.
Wait for a story. Thanks. Wait for a story beat to be delivered through like Telegram, their version of like holo communication, their cell phones, basically. I don't know, and kill a bunch of mobs, kill a boss, repeat. It's really getting kind of stale for me. And so I'm hoping adding a new mechanic like the grapple hook, because you can grapple from any point. There's no like, you don't have to use a wall, so you can just freeform grapple anywhere. And some of the cool stuff I saw was like you can grapple onto another character while they're doing their super and just be in tow. And so maybe, I'm kind of talking out my ass because I'll probably be here day one, to be honest, for Lightfall, but who knows if I'll stick with it. And I guess if they can keep the Witch Queen cadence with the campaign they did, it's probably one of the best content releases they've had ever. Then I'll at least play through the campaign. So I'm I don't know, just getting a little
Steven,
stale is all.
If Halo Infinite has taught me anything, is that adding a grappling hook will revolutionize gameplay.
That is a great point.
Yeah, I got back into Destiny 2 with the expansion before Witch Queen. I can't remember what it was called.
Beyond Light.
Beyond Light, and I really loved it. I liked the new weapon type or damage type and all of that. But my problem with Destiny is like I burn through the main story, and then I don't want to do any of the raids or anything. I like doing them, but I just don't have the time.
Right.
And then when Witch Queen came out, like a bunch of my friends were really hyped for it, and my schedule just wasn't going to allow me to play much. So I was also playing other things and like playing catch up for stuff I wanted to cover on the podcast, and so like I let that slide, and so now Lightfall looks really cool. But like you said, it's like the drip feed story, it just isn't doing it for me in the same way. But I think I really do like Destiny 2. I think for the legacy of Halo as it split from Bungie, like the gunplay, it's not all about the guns, but those kinds of games, the guns have to feel good to want to play. And Destiny 2's guns feel great. I love the weapons. I love the classes. And I love playing the game. I can't bring myself to keep investing in these expansions. It's the same reason I stopped playing WoW. It's why I picked up Final Fantasy 14 this year, blew through the main game and the post patch, and then got into the first expansion, and then I got burned out. Like, I used to be an MMO fiend, and now like MMO and service games I can't keep up with. I prefer I've kind of gone the other way. Now I prefer shorter 3 to 6 hour indie experiences. If I can beat your game in under 10 hours, it's going to be one of like I haven't officially posted this anywhere yet because I'm still deliberating, but like my games of the year in contention are Tunic and Citizen Sleeper, like both like digestible small experiences that have replayability. So yeah, Destiny to me just feels daunting at this point.
Yeah, and you have a good point, right?
Agreed.
Like it's I kind of run into the same thing. I used to raid all the time. I used to get into strikes and everything, and that was just a different time. I have 2 kids and a full-time job, and now it's like it's hard to find the time for that. And I think maybe that's like a mental barrier for me, keeping me from fully enjoying it, because I know I'm missing out on a big part of the game. And so, but yeah, I'll be there for the story. It's excellent writing. The gameplay is still top notch. The gunplay, everything feels great. So I'll be there, but I probably won't do the raid or anything like that. And so that's just kind of my life right now.
The last game of February is February 20, the same day as Destiny. Scars Above. This one had a trailer during the Game Awards, and it reminded me of Returnal. Hopefully, for my sake, it's not as hard as Returnal, but who knows? Because it looks interesting. If it's sci-fi, I'm gonna be interested in it,
right?
At some level. So hopefully it's not as hard, because Returnal's too hard for me. Couldn't get through it. Getting into March, we have The Last of Us Part 1 coming to PC on March 3rd. Cool. More people will be able to play a great game. Wolong Fallen Dynasty. Now, this game looks dope. Probably going to be too hard for me.
Team Ninja joint. So I always like grain of salt with a Team Ninja joint. I'm sure it'll be great, but I'm like, I don't know that I can invest the time to get good at a game like that. Says the person who played Elden Ring this year and beat it. So like,
same.
I'm a hypocrite, but
this is a game that I very much look forward to watching the retry. Now they're not prepared to try the retry boys go through play this one. Definitely too hard for me.
So I played the demo, I believe, at the end of last year that came out. It was a pretty chunky one. You can play, I think, like 2 or 3 hours of it, something like that. Like, and then it would cut you off, right? It was like a timed demo thing. So got to try out the mechanics. I'm actually really impressed. They're a little complicated, but I feel like it's one of those fighting systems that you'll get accustomed to by necessity, right? That's kind of how they work. And you'll die. The UI left a lot to be desired, so I hope they kind of clean that up a little bit. But yeah, Team Ninja games are hit or miss. I feel like over the last little bit. I do like Neo a lot, and this kind of gives me a little bit of Neo vibes, so I'm excited. Game Pass game, I think, day one.
Oh, okay. Wow. Did not know that. Next is a game with a dope name. Never heard of it though. Fatal Frame: Mask of the Lunar Eclipse.
This is a remaster, right?
I believe so.
I believe
It's
so.
a release, yeah.
Came
It's a
out.
cool name.
I think it originally came out on the GameCube. I can't remember which one it was, but yeah, it's a re-release. So
Okay. Oni, Road to the Mightiest Oni.
okay,
What?
What a name.
March 9th. I just looked this one up because the name intrigued me. It is indeed looks like my type of game. There is combat. And it almost looks like you have a little like bunch of people following you around, maybe like Pikmin.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It looks cute as hell, so I'm in. And that's coming to Switch and PC.
Yep.
So that might be a Switch game for me. March 9th. Maybe. Huge asterisks on this one because I'm still not convinced this game is ever coming out. Skull and Bones.
Oh boy.
This game has been in development purgatory for so long, and like they
Way too
recently
long.
did a cover story on it at Game Informer. Like they interviewed the devs, everything sounds promising, but even still,
Yeah.
like remember Marcus talking about how like he's like, it looks okay, which is not reassuring for a game that's been in development hell for as long as it's been.
Yeah.
As someone who just wants to be a pirate,
Yeah.
and there is a disturbing lack of pirate games, and they're making a pirate game where you can't even sword fight is beyond my comprehension, and I am very upset by it, and is one of the reasons I am not getting this game. Not a chance.
What are the other reasons, Sam?
Yeah.
It looks boring. Like the ship, like they had those ship combat videos. It just does not look fun. Like it doesn't look as engaging as Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Just
You don't have the swashbuckling from like a Sea of Thieves, you know.
yeah,
So-
and you don't even really you're essentially playing as a boat. Like you're not actually playing as a pirate, which is very.
And you can do like a fleet, and there's some interesting like tactical I don't know. I'm not interested, I guess.
yeah.
I remember
to say the least.
I remember seeing the reveal of Skull and Bones back in high school. That's how long ago it was. And the Twitch chat was saying like Sea of Thieves dead on arrival. Look who's laughing now.
Right. It'll be alive.
The same
and-
people. March 14th, we have The Legend of Heroes Trails to Azure.
Okay.
Next.
Coming to PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC. March 17th, we have Bayonetta Origins, which looks insane. I'm a Bayonetta person, so not interested, but
Mm,
I love the Bayonetta franchise. Let's start there. I love Platinum Games. Love the first two games. Played the third one recently to guest on another podcast. Actually, a friend of my shows, Tales from the Backlog. Dave
Nice.
over there asked me to come on. It's going to air next year because he's got like 2 months worth of banked episodes, which is impressive, and I'm jealous.
agreed.
But we played the third one because we were both excited for it, and I came away I think more positive than he did, but ultimately still disappointing compared to other Bayonetta games. I like the idea of doing a different story, right? Like trying a different genre. I love when franchises do that. People are like, oh, you wouldn't want to play a Mass Effect RTS? Yes, I would. Come on, like. I like when franchises go outside the box, but I saw the trailer for this, the Game Awards, and I'm like, it looks fine. I'm not excited about it. Like, I don't know. There was nothing to really draw me in. And also Bayonetta, I love the story because it's bonkers, not because it's a deep narrative letting me get to know the character. I like it because it's this leather-clad lady kicking ass and using her hair to summon demons. Like, I'm just worried if we get real narrative with this franchise that it's going to get too self-serious, and that's when it starts to fail to me. But
Yeah.
We'll see. I may change my mind as we get closer because I do love the franchise, but I'm not sure.
March 17th, this is on Eric's list. I'm pretty sure this is on everybody's list.
Yes.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Just realizing that it is on March 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day. So have fun drinking and
Go have a
playing.
pint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for this one. I replayed Fallen Order again this year when the PS5 update came out. Gorgeous game. I really like Cal Kestis. I think he is definitely not the most interesting Star Wars character, but I think
Right.
the actor who plays him does a good enough job. And fucking, I'm not sure if I can curse on the show, but there
You're
it is.
good.
Oh,
You're good.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But also,
Absolutely.
I believe Deborah Wilson is her name, the fallen Jedi Master in that game.
Ooh,
She was
yeah.
so good. Like,
Mhm.
like when I realized she was the same actress who was from Mad TV all those years ago, playing this super serious role, I was like, oh my god. But I love the cast. I'm really excited. A little sad that my favorite Space Witch wasn't in the most recent trailer, but
Yeah, what's up with
hopefully-
that? Come on.
hopefully she'll be back. But yeah, no, this game looks amazing. BD1 is the best droid in any franchise ever.
Yes, sir.
No one
Yep.
can tell me otherwise.
BD1.
This is a day one purchase for me, hands down, without a
Mhm.
second thought. Especially on PS5. Like, I can't wait.
Yeah. I am very excited. I need to replay through Fallen Order before
Just
it comes out
Just please,
in the
please
coming months.
fix the map, please. Just that's
Oh
all.
yeah, the
Oh,
map.
God.
That's
The
all.
map is such a pain in the ass.
Perfect
Either
game,
don't have a
fix the
map or
Yeah.
fix the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. No, yeah. Like when I replayed it, I didn't go looking for all the secrets. And I love doing that
Yeah.
in Metroidvanias. Like Metroid Dread was my favorite game of last year, like obviously, as a Metroid fan. But like the you can't have Metroidvania elements in modern games. In old games, I get it, but in modern games without a good map, because it's just
Yes.
you want to tear your hair out. It was so aggravating.
Yeah. So March 17th, the next Star Wars game. Let's go.
So excited.
And then March 22nd is Have a Nice Death, which sounds familiar, actually.
It might be a.
Oh, it's the little cute one with the little cute skeleton dude
Do you know what? I'm
with a
excited
cup
for
of coffee.
it. It's one of those like,
Looks like a fun indie. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
cool combat, honestly, and it's got me.
March 23rd, Storyteller on Switch and PC. This is another one where it's like book art style. It's Annapurna, so I'm gonna play it. And hopefully like it, because Annapurna has been getting close where I'm like, man, Annapurna's falling apart over here. With 12 minutes, terrible.
Oh, 12 minutes. Don't get me started. You don't have
what was-
enough time in the episode.
Somerville, interesting, but overall very disappointed with that game. Not a very enjoyable experience to play because
Memoir Blue.
of controls and such. Or was Memoir? No, sorry.
Was-
Memoir Blue's the Annapurna
Yeah.
one, not Somerville. Sorry.
Yeah.
Memoir Blue is also bad. Super uninteresting. And the gameplay is like non-existent even by Annapurna standards. But Storyteller looks cool. Resident Evil 4 Remake is coming on March 24th.
Yeah.
Too scary for me.
Same caveat as Dead Space remake. Like, I liked Resident Evil 4. It's my favorite Resident Evil because it's action based. This one looks like it's gonna be much scarier. I don't know that I'll be able to hack it, but I'm gonna try.
I'm gonna try to. Right. That's where I'm at.
I never played the original. Can't wait to experience it in HD.
Oh yeah. Next is just a ridiculous game that I'm not touching.
Oh,
with a
yeah.
10-foot pole. Crime Boss Rockay City, March 28th.
Did anyone else get like
Stupid
Rockstar cover
cast.
art vibes from this?
We're trying to just rip off GTA, and I don't even
Yeah.
like GTA, so I'm not at all interested in this game. So
It's
It's weird. It looks like, based on the Game Award stuff, it's very much like we've got Hollywood actors, like we're trying to make this a big AAA like blockbuster. And like, look, I mean, GTA has been doing that with, for years. Rockstar's been doing that with all their games, and so if other companies want to try and do the same, getting more games like that, doing different things. I mean, that's how we got Saints Row, which was huge for so long. Like, but I don't know. It seems a little schlocky to me. I just also, I don't want to be a crime boss. I'm tired of that.
Yeah,
It's
same.
just so overdone at this point.
Getting into April. On my birthday, April 4th, is the last gen version of Hogwarts Legacy. There's also Meet Your Maker. Oh, that's the one. That's the one he plays a.
Oh, this
Now,
one is this
This
co-op?
one, yes,
seems
this
like
one
it.
confused.
Yeah.
This one confused me. I wasn't sure if you're playing as a human with like a bunch of armor pieces on, or if you're a droid.
It is unclear.
Because like the headpiece kind of looks like it could be a helmet, but it could also be like just your head.
Apparently
But yeah,
there's a
this
beta.
one looks. Oh, there is a beta.
Yeah.
Nice. This looks like one that me and my brother might play.
It looks
And
cool.
I might force him to get it for me for my birthday. Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. We were
Is this an
talking about
Eric
this.
game?
This is an Eric game. And we were talking about this on the Discord a few days ago. And I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
But not I'm not a Mega Man, like I've never played Mega Man, so probably not gonna play it. But it's an RPG, it's more RPG, so
Yeah.
it's more interesting to me than Mega Man.
So the combat
Normal
is
Mega Man.
card based. You're building a deck to use different attacks. It's also grid based, right? So it's like your side is a 3x3 section. The enemies is 3x3. You have things that affect like different slots, and can really mix up the combat a lot. The writing does carry it forward in most cases. I don't know. But like the combat is really, really what I like about that game.
Yeah, I'm a diehard Mega Man fan. Love that franchise and Mega Man X. Battle Network, I played the Game Boy Advance one. I don't remember which one that was, and thought it was okay, but never finished it.
Yeah.
I think if this goes on sale, I'll buy it because I like RPGs. I like Mega Man. It'd be worth trying on sale, but I don't know that it's a day one purchase for me at full price, just because like I'd much rather Mega Man 12 at this point than this or whatever's next in the X franchise, as long as it doesn't suck like the last couple. Like,
Yeah.
you know, Battle Network, I know folks who love that series. It's not something, it would be new for me. I'd be trying it for the first time.
I'm curious how it holds up now. It's been a long
Yeah.
time. Obviously, I played it on the original Game Boy Advance. The majority of those games were on Game Boy Advance, so
Yeah.
I really do hope it holds up.
April 19th, we have the Horizon Forbidden West DLC Burning Shores. It is PS5 only, which is a choice that they made. Don't understand that one. But I as someone who's played all the way through Horizon Forbidden West, enjoyed my time with it. I don't know that I'm very interested in returning to that, to be honest, like anytime soon.
It's weird how damp that fire got for Horizon after the second one. I don't know.
Yeah. I loved the first one. I played it at the end of last year, but I think other stuff came out the month that Forbidden West did, so
Right.
I didn't. It wasn't
Elden
on my
Ring.
list, like Elden Ring. But yeah, I don't know. Like I love Aloy. I think Aloy is a great character, and I am curious about Forbidden West. But until I buy the game, the DLC does nothing for me, and I probably won't end up buying it. I'll wait for a PS Plus or a discount or something. You know, I bought God of War Ragnarok, which I've only scratched the surface of the first 3 hours of, and I hear it's like 30 hours long. So that's like my big PlayStation game for next year. If I play one, is going back to that, I think.
Yeah, I'm just the Horizon Forbidden West was already long enough.
Yeah,
don't really need DLC, and like I don't know. It's not the ending did not give me confidence in where this series is going, because I did not like the ending of Horizon Forbidden West at all. And it just, and I liked a majority of what led up to the ending.
Yeah.
But just the way that game ended was very disappointing. And yeah, I don't think I'm very excited for the DLC. I'm sure I'll get it eventually. It'll probably be the same thing that happened with the DLC for the first game, which I before Forbidden West came out, I went back and replayed Zero Dawn with the DLC. I'll probably just be the same thing that happens here when they announced Horizon 3 coming out the same day as Elden Ring 2. I'll replay Forbidden West with the DLC, but not the whole thing because that game's way too long. Won't go for the 100%. I already platinumed it, so
Yeah.
Come out April 28th is Dead Island 2. For all these years. Anybody interested in that one?
Curious? Like, I don't know. I tried zombie games are hit or miss for me. And like I played what was the one that got a sequel this year?
Dying Light?
Dying Light. So I played Dying Light 1 last year, finally. I'd had it for years and got through it and actually kind of enjoyed it. And then I got I got a code for Dying Light 2, which I was very grateful for. And I played the first like 5 hours and hated it. It's just anything that I liked from the first game was not in the second game. It was a bummer. And so like they're not like I think they co-developed the first Dead Island, but they're not working on this one. I think it's the studio they partnered with on the first one is just taking lead on this one. But Dead Island 1 I played like I think the first 5 or 6 hours of, and it was like GTA plus zombies sort of in first person. It was fun. There's not much to the story, so which I guess is not why you play a co-op zombie game anyway, is not really always for the story. But yeah, it just didn't really resonate with me. So I'd be curious to try it, but definitely not a day one purchase for me at this point.
Yeah, zombies are not my thing. Like Last of Us is the only thing. Those are like, I mean, they are zombies, but they're slightly different. Yeah, just going out and killing a bunch of zombies is not interesting to me. And it just seems like there's so many of them. Why are there so many zombie games? So that was the end of April. Now we get into May, and we're getting real scarce here. But May has 2 games I am very excited. 2 games that are both going to be day one purchases for me. Like 100%, not even questioning that. First, we have on May 12th, Legend of Zelda, The Tears of the Kingdom, the follow-up to Breath of the Wild.
I'm excited about this, but direct sequels to Zelda games are always hit or miss, right?
Yep.
Like, I liked Majora's Mask, but it was a very different game, and I struggled to finish it. Like, whereas like Link Between Worlds, which was a spiritual successor to Link to the Past, was phenomenal. Good. One of my favorites. Tears of the Kingdom looks really great, but also I've hit this point. We've talked about this on Fun and Games a little bit. As an anxious person who has limited time, open world games seem to make me more anxious than excited. Like Starfield just seems intimidating to me. And I love the Fallout series, but the idea that you're making a game that's twice as big as Skyrim, but in space and other planets and galaxies. And so like Tears of the Kingdom, which is a sequel to Breath of the Wild, which was a big game as well. I'm hesitant. I'm going to buy it day one. I just don't know if I'll get through it because it's just, they're touting that it's going to be bigger than the first one. It's going to have more to do. And I love that first game. I think as an experience, it's one of the best Zelda games, though it's not one of my favorite. It's definitely one of the coolest Zelda games to experience. But I just think this one's going to be too big for me, and I may put it on the back burner initially. But we'll see. I'm curious. I'm optimistic. We haven't still seen a ton of combat or gameplay yet, so I'm curious as we see more of that.
I think it'll be my bite-sized thing, right? Like if they can still do, let's go do this Korok seed, or let's go do a small thing. I think that I can definitely fit it in easier, and it seems a little less daunting as an open world game, but we'll see.
Yeah, because that's what was great about Breath of the Wild. You could just go on, solve a couple puzzles, and then get off, and made it a lot more approachable. And didn't like the world obviously feels huge just because of how small you are, like the scale. And I think they did a really good job with Breath of the Wild balancing that. Hopefully that continues with Tears of the Kingdom.
My other real big concern, though, of course, is as we start to see the seams break on the Switch's hardware. For like, look, Zelda, the first Zelda ran great, and like Arceus mostly ran good, but like first party titles tend to run without issue. And for example, like Kirby and Metroid both ran beautifully without issue.
Yep.
And so if anyone can do it, the first party team at Nintendo, I believe can, but I am hesitant. I'm excited for how great it'll look on the OLED, which is what I have, but I am hesitant to believe it will run as smoothly as the first game did if they're trying to put more in it.
Yeah, always got to be skeptical with the Switch and the performance quality. The second game in May, the only other game we have a release date for in May is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. And this just got another trailer at the Game Awards, paying homage to Kevin Conroy.
Yep.
And man, it's going to be heartbreaking to hear him like one last time.
Yeah.
Kind of sad that I guess I don't know if it's going to be his last ever performance as Batman. I don't know if there's other things in the works where he's going to be voicing Batman. But the last video game, presumably, where he's going to be voicing Batman, the whole premise is you're going to kill him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it turns good in the end, you know?
Yikes.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
There's that, but I'm very excited for this game. It looks fun. This is actual Rocksteady. Not what is it? It's the one that makes that made Arkham or Gotham
WB
Knights.
Montreal?
WB Montreal. This is Rocksteady. They have not missed. They made 3 great Batman games. I don't foresee them missing with this one. Looks like a blast.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I'm excited for this. It is, but I love Kevin. I'm a voice actor nerd, and Kevin Conroy is one of my oldest favorites. Of course, he's the reason I love Batman, flat out. Like I like the comics, but the animated series is the reason I love the character. And I loved his version in the games. You know, I didn't mind Warner Brother Montreal's Batman game. I liked Origins. I thought it was fun for the size. I didn't mind that it was smaller. But like I replayed the whole Arkham series last year. Just because I felt like it, and they all hold up. I still say Asylum's the best. It's a Metroidvania. It's the most tight, but I love all those games, and so any game that the Rocksteady makes, I'm going to play. And I like their version of the Suicide Squad that we've seen. I mostly just want to kill people as King Shark.
Yep,
that's the dream. That's the dream. But yeah, I'm an emotional person in general, and I know that no matter how the story goes, like
It's
knowing that it's likely his last performance is such a bummer, but I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be fun. I'm curious to see how the combat works. We haven't really still seen a ton of that. I really want to know, because you've got ranged characters, melee characters, brutes, and so I'm curious what this is going to look like, but I'm excited for it.
Yeah. I have full faith in Rocksteady because they have some of the best action combat there is. So
yeah, totally.
Very excited. Now we get into June. This is the second to last month that we actually have dates for. So just a few here. We have Street Fighter 6, which I no interest in. Take it away, anybody else who wants to talk about Street Fighter 6.
I have a passing interest. So the last one I played was Street Fighter 4, or Super Street Fighter 4, I guess, on the PlayStation 4, if I'm right. Got really, really into that one. I do have a history with Street Fighter. I've been playing since, pretty much since they came out. I've liked almost all of them. I'm decent at them. I wouldn't say I'm good, but as far as fighting games go, they're my series. I prefer them over a Mortal Kombat or the other popular ones like Tekken. So this one has some interesting stuff with like the main story, right? It's like a pseudo open world, I'm guessing. So that'll be kind of cool to see what they do with that. If they got a killer story, I mean, maybe I'll pick it up. So
yeah, I love the Street Fighter franchise. 5 I bounced off of really fast because of, like everyone else, it was not great, as good as 4 especially. But from what I've seen of 6, I love the new art style. I love the new design. I'm glad they're using the RE engine, right? Because like so many of the other games fit that design so well. But I'll probably pick it up to play with friends. I am not great at it. I bought Guilty Gear Strive recently, and I love it. I loved those games, and they're fun, but I am bad at them.
Yes.
But this looks good. I didn't get into the most recent beta, but I have a bunch of friends who did and who shared some of their thoughts on it, and it looks like a lot of fun. So I'm I'm excited to try it and dive into another fighting game. Whether I'll stick with it or not, it depends on the game itself, really.
Yeah. Gaff, you have thoughts on Street Fighter 6?
Move on.
Move on. You don't. June 6th is Diablo 4.
Oh,
There's another one where I have to ignore what is happening at the company that is making this game,
Right.
unfortunately. But I'm gonna have to separate it because I am very excited for this game. I can't help it.
Yeah.
It looks awesome. I am ready to jump back into Diablo with my brother. Hopefully we'll have Strangers of Paradise beaten by then. Because we slowly grinding our way through that. Yeah, very, very excited for more Diablo.
I just hope it has a better launch than 3.
agreed.
Yes.
Literally every launch. I mean, look, the grain of salt with online launches, right? Like when Overwatch 2 didn't work on day one, I'm like, y'all, it's a online game. Like, let's be realistic at this point. They're never prepared.
Yeah.
Nope.
But I liked Diablo 3. I ended up loving it by the end as it got better. I didn't buy the Diablo 2 remaster just because everything was still fresh with what was going on with Activision. I do still at some point want to play the remaster, but I'm excited for 4. I hope they bring back my favorite class, the monk. I loved playing the monk. I loved being a werewolf, or not the monk. I'm sorry, the druid. I love the monk in 3. But what I really want is the druid, because the werewolf druid that could summon wolves was the best thing in Diablo 2. That's all I did. So I hope we get that class again. But yeah, no, I mean, it looks good. Also, any Blizzard game willing to partner with Halsey, I'm in. I'm a pop.
Oh my
pop
god!
Music. Like,
Yeah,
come on,
for
let's
sure.
go.
Was amazing.
So good. Didn't see that
was
coming a mile away. but it was so good.
amazing. Oh my gosh, that was great. I almost forgot about that. That completely had left my mind. That was
It's just you wouldn't
insane.
think about that partnership, I
No.
suppose, but
Not at all, but I'm here for it. Let's get CRJ doing some video game stuff, right? Like I'm in.
yeah.
Taylor Swift, all of them. Bring all the
Cool.
pop stars in.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Like usually like I haven't liked when they do these musical performances at the Game Awards, but that was just come on, that you couldn't hate
Incredible.
that. Yeah. Diablo 4, baby. Let's go. Won't be playing Diablo 4 for very long because on June 22nd, Final Fantasy 16 comes out, and this is my most anticipated game that has a release date.
That's fair enough.
I don't know if it's my most anticipated in general, but that has a release date. This is by far Final Fantasy 16, and it just injected in my veins. I just want to play it as soon as possible. Like,
it looks really cool. It looks really cool.
Like, I've very recently gotten into the Final Fantasy franchise. Like, Final Fantasy 7 Remake was my first entry into the franchise.
It's a good one.
It's a good
like
one.
I've never been a fan of like turn-based. So the action combat really got me, and really got me because it is one of the best action combat like systems out there. And then I just recently played through the original remake, or the original Final Fantasy 7. I started Final Fantasy 8. I am full into this franchise now. I am very excited to play through like most of them. Won't play Final Fantasy 14. Not doing that to myself.
Fair.
But yeah, I cannot wait to play Final Fantasy 16 and just like talk about it with my brother and like all my friends who are playing it. And oh my gosh, it's gonna be so good.
It looks really good. Yeah, I'm excited for it. Final Fantasy as a franchise is hit or miss for me. I love the franchise, but I notoriously didn't finish a lot of them. I finished 9 for the first time this year, and oh my god, as someone who wrote off 9 for being too like fantasy kiddie looking, I'm an idiot. I'll just say it. That game has one of the best final acts of any Final Fantasy game ever.
Damn right.
It blew me away. I want to replay 8. I remember not liking it, but I want to give it another shot. But like, I still have to. I've gotten through most of 6. I've gotten through most of 4. Like, I've never really finished all of them. And like, I went back to 13 this year, and liked what I was playing, but I didn't finish it. But like, I want to play and finish more Final Fantasy games. I still never finished 15, which I now have the Royal Edition or whatever as for PS Plus.
So now you get the ending that was supposed to be, right? You know, you get the full story. So I played that game at launch, right? And obviously there's a whole thing where the DLC came out and it really patched a lot of holes in the narrative. So yeah.
I'm excited to revisit that, but 16 looks awesome in the same kind of epic way. And it's part of it is because it has the same lead now, but like it has the vibe of 14, like style and the time period kind of style and look. And so I love the story in 14. Like the thing about 14 that I will say, not to make you play it, but you can play it without doing any side quests. You can just do the main story and you will be of the right level. So you can essentially treat it like a single player game, except for the dungeons.
My problem if I start Final Fantasy 14, my brother will not let me stop playing it. Like he will make me play with him all the time. Like that's the issue there. Like I won't even have a choice. Like I'll be playing that game nonstop.
But 16 looks awesome. I'm very excited for it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And I feel like you were saying that Final Fantasy franchise is like a hit or miss. I feel like that's true for a lot of people just because all the games are super different, like aesthetically. Even like the combat in 8 is so weird. Like like so weird. And I'm enjoying it. I definitely think I'm gonna get tired of it eventually, but this looks great. I just cannot believe what I've seen in these trailers is gonna be real, but it's going to be real.
Stunning presentations, man. Like
and then in July, the last date that we have is the Switch version of Hogwarts Legacy on July 25th. Now, that has to be cloud, right? Like, there's
no way it's going to be native. There's no way.
Yeah. That is... I can't believe they're releasing this at like 4 different dates across the year, or 3 different dates, I guess.
They must have done the numbers to find there was an audience somewhere, right? So
yeah. So that's all the ones we have dates for. Now
the year. That's it.
No more games are coming out next year.
Yeah, that's it. No more games ever again.
Now let's go through the ones that don't have dates. We're gonna make this a lot quicker though.
Rapid fire, and then we'll stop.
Brevity, kind of rapid fire. We'll stop at some big ones. AEW Fight Forever, After Us, Age of Empires 4 coming to consoles. So that's cool. Aka R. Don't know. That's coming to everything. Alan Wake 2. That's exciting.
This one. I'm replaying Control as we speak. I know we'll talk a little bit about more we're playing later, but like I had never played a Remedy game since Max Payne 1, and then I played Control when it came out because it looked like my kind of sci-fi bullshit, which it was. And I became obsessed. I immediately played Alan Wake after, loved that. So like I'm so hyped for this sequel. I cannot wait, especially since they recently announced with the DLC and stuff, they joined those universes. So like more sci-fi, weird, strange BS. Let's go. I'm in. Let's do it.
Yeah, Control's one of those games where it's like it's scary, but it's just like sci-fi.
It's unnerving and freaky more than it's like horrifying.
Exactly. Yeah. Like there's the one invisible enemy the first time you fight it that scared the living shit out of me. But other than that, I was like mostly fine.
But the powers are so cool, right? Like
and like the combat's awesome. Like man, that game rules, and I want to replay that because I haven't played DLC for that at all. So.
I haven't finished. I need to finish the game.
Yeah, it's great. Highly recommend.
Awesome game. Aliens: Dark Descent, Amnesia: The Bunker, Angerfoot.
Stop
on that one.
Yeah,
that's a Devolver. That's a Devolver joint.
What is this game?
I have a soft spot for Devolver games. Most of them are usually pretty much bangers for me, right? I played so many of their indies. This one seems to be like Hotline Miami, but like first person, you're just kicking stuff, and it's brutal and it's obscene and it's over the top, and there's this like hardcore music playing in the background, and I think there's still a demo maybe on Steam. I recommend you trying it out. It's pretty lengthy, so
there is a download.
If you are into any of that, definitely definitely give this a look. It's absurd, but it looks fun.
This
so.
looks crazy. You're like, yeah, you're just literally oh, you do have a gun though.
Yes, but they do.
But it looks like for the most part,
Yeah.
you're just kicking people.
Yeah.
That's great. Arc Raiders, Arc 2, starring Vin Diesel. Let's go. Definitely not ever playing that. Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon.
Okay, so like I'm not going to take a lot of time here, but if you're following me on Twitter, I lost my absolute goddamn mind when they announced this.
People are in for this game, man.
Sit on Grandpa's lap as I tell you about From Software, the company that used to make something besides Souls games. And like, I love the Armored Core series. It's like mech building BS. It is so the opposite of their other games, but like I assumed we would never see a new game in this franchise. It's been like a decade or more since they've made one. So when they announced this at the Game Awards, I just absolutely like this and Hades too. I lost my absolute mind.
Oh yeah.
I love mech games. I love Armored Core, and like I'm curious how this will do in a modern setting, right? Like either people are going to be way in it, or people are going to be like, "Oh, this isn't Dark Souls." And I hope it's not the latter. But I'm so excited for this game. I cannot wait.
Our Armored Core 6, people are excited for this game because our Armored Core 6 reaction has, without a doubt, like our highest view count.
It's crazy. People just show up
Like
for Armored Core.
insane. Yeah, people are excited for that one. I wish I could be, but Assassin's Creed Mirage, I am excited for this game. Going back to apparently going back to the roots of Assassin's Creed. We'll see how much they're actually going back to the roots of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm gonna be yeah, Gaff, you know, we got to support our fallen franchise, okay?
struggling friend.
Yeah, I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic for this one. I'm gonna be more optimistic than cautious though, just because I want it to be good.
According to those numbers, I'm excited.
Yeah. We have Atlas Fallen, Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. Let's go. Wait, it still says Stadia on here.
Oh my goodness.
That's definitely not the case.
No.
Come on, Game Informer. Get that out of here. Hope that game's good.
Me too.
But same thing with the Assassin's Creed Mirage. I'm gonna be optimistic, you know. It's gonna be good. Baldur's Gate 3.
Cannot wait. Gonna be good. I already have been playing the early access. Not a lot of it, because I don't want to ruin it, but like I just finished Divinity Original Sin 2 the other night with a group of friends I've been playing for a year and a half with. Like just
it's a long game though.
Yeah.
So.
And so like that, like it was really fun to play that with some really close friends. And so we're gonna dive into Baldur's Gate 3 together. It's gonna be, I can't wait. I love the Baldur's Gate games. I'm really excited.
Me and my brother are very slowly making our way through the first Divinity Original Sin.
Yeah.
So
They take a while.
Very slow. Yeah, they do. Banishers, Ghosts of Eden, Battle Cakes,
Okay.
which is just
Heard of
Xbox
that.
One and PC, which is interesting. Blazing Strike, Blue Protocol, Bomb Rush, Cyberpunk. We got some quality names here. Botany Manor, is like some plant sim. Boundary, Bounty Star, Bramble the Mountain King, Call of Duty Warzone Mobile,
That's interesting.
Chance of Sinar. Really going through a lull here. Cocoon, Coffee Talk Episode 2 of Biscuits and Butterfly. Are you kidding me? These are made up. That's not
No,
real.
that's real. Good.
Colossal Cave. Wait, did I not already say that?
This is last gen version of Colossal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Crash Team Rumble. Okay. Crash
yeah.
fans.
Game nobody was asking for.
Not any of us. Creature Keeper, Cybernet's Flashpoint, Dead Cells, Return to
Yes.
Pennsylvania, Steven. Take it away.
I'm there, right? You got me, Motion Twin. Dead Cells. They continue to update Dead Cells. I think there's like 7 or 8 updates now. Everyone I play through as much as possible. So yeah, with this one it's no different. It seems to be, I think there's a new like Soul Knight, if I'm right, is a new playable character, which is interesting, and I wonder how that's going to work, because normally you're just an amorphous collection of cells that inhabit a armor suit. So now I wonder how that's going to work. You'll probably just be like a soul that goes into an armor suit now. You're throwing sharks in some of them. It just looks wild. It looks like definitely a bigger release though than some of the more recent ones. So excited.
We have Desta, The Memories Between, Devolver, Tumble Time, Disney, Dreamlight Valley. Oh, the full release.
Yeah.
Full
That's
release,
right.
right? Yeah. Now it's in like
Keep
beta or something.
Yeah, I keep forgetting
Early
it's in
access.
technically in early access and it's free, but then when it's releasing, it's gonna be paid and confusing. Disney Illusion Island, Disney Speedstorm, a lot of Disney going on. Dordong,
Dordonia.
Dordonia, sure. Dune Spice Wars, EA Sports PGA Tour, Earthlock 2, Ayuden Chronicle, 100 Heroes.
That one I'm curious about. I played. They had a spin-off game that came out this year that was really good. This is by the original devs of Suikoden. They now partnered to make this new, like, many hero based like tactical RPG. And so I'm cautiously optimistic because I love the Suikoden games, but I'm not. We haven't heard a lot about this. Just the spin-off. So I'm curious to see how it turns out.
Endless Dungeon, Ender Knights, Everspace 2,
Full release.
Everywhere, Ectoprimal, Fae Farm. Oh, is that one of those great Switch farming games that we saw?
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh boy.
Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. Is this another
That's the
fucking
mobile
final?
game.
This is another game I'm gonna have to play for Final Fantasy VII. Come on. It's a mobile game. So
It's an entry point. Yeah.
One can only assume that at the end of the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, there's going to be a part where you summon all the players that played the mobile game to take down one of the bosses. One can only assume that is what is going to happen. And then Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Let's
So excited.
freaking go. Couldn't be more excited for that. I'm even more excited for that than Final Fantasy 16, and that we haven't seen like barely anything from that.
I think this gets
Rebirth,
delayed personally.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's an end of year thing.
Yeah, if it is.
So the thing is, they said next winter,
Yeah.
which technically could mean like January or February of 2024, which I think is more likely because
I would agree.
there's no way they're going to release this and 16 the same year. Like,
I mean,
seems unlikely.
they could, but
I mean, look at
seems
Pokemon,
unlikely.
you know, Arceus and Scarlet.
I mean, look at them though.
Yeah, actually look at
I'm just saying.
That is why you don't do that.
That is
And I love both those games. I'm just saying, it's still.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Flashback 2, Flintlock, Siege of Dawn. This game looks interesting to me. I'm not going to talk about it because we don't need to spend too much time on that one. Flock, Forever Skies, Forza Motorsport.
All right, now I can finally speak.
We got to say,
Xbox finally showing up this year, hopefully. Yeah, they've been vastly absent, which reflects in my gaming habits this year. But I love Forza. Horizon's the GOAT, and Motorsport looks dope. Can't wait to play, even though it's a racing sim, like a hardcore racing sim. But damn it, I'm gonna learn how to play and be good at it.
you learned how to play the flight sim, right?
Yeah, so it's doable.
Master Pilot.
Yeah, and according to Keen in chat, says Xbox rumored to have a showcase early 2023. So
Yeah, we might find out more about their year.
I'm really hoping
as soon as they get out of court.
Yeah, as soon as they're out of court.
Yeah, exactly. Front Mission 2 remake, Frozen Flame, Garbage Pail Kids, Mad Mike, and the Quest for Stale Gum.
Oh,
I just can't believe that's coming out.
yeah,
2023.
yeah.
For the NES. no
NES,
less.
yeah.
it's
That
just, like wild. to me.
Is that's like a Pajama Sam title.
yeah.
That is ridiculous. Goodbye Volcano High. Goodbye World. Grimoire once more. Gunbrella.
Looks
I'm
fun.
excited for Gumbrella. That's a Devolver joint. It's by
Yeah, of
the
course.
Of
developers.
course it is.
And it's by the people who did Gato Roboto, which I loved. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
excited for this. Yeah.
Hell is Us. Hello Neighbor, Search and Rescue.
Um,
VR game. Have fun spending a lot of money for that. Homeworld 3. Hyenas. Hyperlight Breaker. Couldn't get into Hyperlight Drifter. Just couldn't get into it.
I was converted to a Heart Machine fan after Solar Ash. I played that, which was phenomenal. I'm cautiously optimistic about Lightbreaker because I also didn't gel with Light Drifter. So
Okay.
let's see.
Yeah, I
I'm
just didn't like. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get into it very much. Hightail. I Am Jesus Christ.
Uh-huh.
What a
That's
title.
I'll
interesting.
pass that one.
IB Pound, I guess.
Ib.
Ib. One of those options. Industries of Titan. Inkbound. Inkulinati? What?
Inkulinati.
I'm really bad with pronunciation, as you can tell. Kerbal Space Program 2. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the game.
Can't believe we're getting that also.
Wild.
That is
unbelievable.
Insane. Layers of Fears. Obviously, I am
I'm excited for that.
not touching that game with a 10-foot pole. Leap. Lightyear Frontier. Like a Dragon. Gaiden, the man who erased his name.
This is
So is
the proper sequel to Like a Dragon.
Yep.
This is
okay.
The man who erased his name is Kiryu Kazuma, who is
Yep.
like was the franchise horse for a long time. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I don't know why Kiryu's hair has dyed grayish blonde, and he looks like the lead singer of a new metal
look,
band.
Look, this is Yakuza we're talking about here, like
Right.
a dragon. So it'll make sense when we get there.
Right, but yeah, it looks like it's going to be another awesome Yakuza game. I'm excited.
We have Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. It's a dope name. Marvel Snap coming to PC.
Yep.
Okay.
Marvel World of Heroes. Marvel's Spider-Man 2, which we just got an announcement that it is coming fall 2023. And I'm assuming there will be discussion all year whether this game is going to get delayed, just like there were
Right.
for God of War, until we get a firm release date. Very excited. Insomniac is just like kicking ass recently. So
I cannot wait for Marvel Spider-Man 2. Like I said, I spoke to Yuri recently. He was great,
Yeah.
on the pod. And so also he's in Midnight Suns, I found out recently, as Spider-Man as well.
Oh,
and I love when they do that synergy. I'm just, Venom is one of my favorite characters of all time. The fact that the Candyman himself is doing the voice of Venom is just unbelievable to me. Such a perfect casting. I'm curious to see how they do Venom in this world, because based on what we've seen from the games, while trying to avoid spoilers, like we know likely who Venom's going to be, and I'm very excited. Yeah. And the current cast for that, like Spider-Man, I said this when Spider-Man 1 came out, I think it's one of the best written Spider-Man stories ever besides Into the Spider-Verse. Like that whole narrative, they made me give a shit about Negative Man, which like didn't think was possible. And then the whole Otto Octavius story is one of the best things they've ever done. So I can't wait for that game. So excited.
It's going to be awesome. That game's on PC now, right? The first one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Metal Slug Tactics. Mina the Hollower, Minecraft Legend. Mina. Okay, I see. I was gonna say that, and I went with other option, and I was wrong.
It's the new Yacht Club joint, so that's why I'm excited about it. Love
Yes,
Shovel Knight, and this is their
same.
next franchise.
Oh, okay.
It looks like a mix of like Game Boy Zelda games and Castlevania. I'm very excited. Game Informer actually recently did a documentary on it. Alex Van Aken released it and directed it, edited it. It's very good. It's like I think 15 minutes. 10 minutes.
Making of Mina the Hollower. Yep.
Yeah, it's a good doc. If you're curious about the game, definitely give it a watch.
And you can play it on Linux if you have that.
Yeah.
Just so you know,
It's
FYI.
breakthrough game for Linux.
Minecraft Legends, Monaco's Night Market, Monster Hunter Rise, Sunbreak coming to the. So wait, the DLC's coming later.
Yeah.
To the consoles. Interesting.
Yep, just the base game coming to consoles first.
Okay. Mortal Kombat Onslaught, Moving Out 2. What? Not that I ever played Moving Out 1, but
Moving
I
Out
know what it
again.
is. I didn't realize they were making a second one.
Still moving out.
Yeah, still moving out. My Time at the Sandrock.
My Time at
Blank.
Porsche Devs, right?
Yeah,
Just a different game.
Yeah, that's their sequel, I think.
Okay.
Nightingale, Nine Souls, Off the Grid, Oxenfree 2, Lost Signals. I started Oxenfree. I need to get back to that one. Pacific Drive. That's that weird one, which I don't. Is the gameplay just driving around? That's a weird trailer. Pal World, Park Beyond, Payday
3. What?
Payday 3?
Supposedly.
Man, okay. Interesting. Pepper Grinder, Phantom Abyss. Okay,
Full
so
release.
that's that cool. Yeah, that's that cool one that just came out where it's like Temple Run, but it's like kind of multiplayer, but not really. You don't play with other people, but
It's fun.
The premise of that game is very interesting to me, but not anything I'll probably ever play.
It's hard.
Pikmin 4. Pikmin 4. Apparently I should play Pikmin because I like Tinykin, so now everybody's telling me I should play Pikmin. Pistol Whip for PSVR 2, Planet of Lana, Pragmata, Prehistoric Kingdom, Ravenlock, Raven's Watch, Read Only Memories, Nero Diver, Redfall, let's go, Gaff. I know you're going to be excited for that one. Let's go.
Please
I'm very excited as well. It's Arcane, so they have not made a bad game, so very excited. And I like vampires. I like vampires more than I like zombies. So
You can put up with vampires, you're saying?
yeah.
Okay.
I can more than put up with vampires. I love vampires. It's what Blood and Wine. It's great.
Yeah. Even though the vampires are annoying to fight.
That is true. Remnant 2.
Excited. Remnant was one of those games that I got for free on Epic, and a bunch of my friends and I are let's try it. They said it's like first person Dark Souls, and we loved it. So I'm excited for the sequel. I think it's an underrated game.
It is.
One, so I'm excited for the new one.
So good. Oh my gosh. Me and my brother played through this game, and yeah, so much fun. This was the announcement at the Game Awards where I was the most excited for by far. Yeah. Absolutely. So excited for Remnant 2. Replaced. Excited for that one as well.
Yep. Same here.
RoboCop Rogue City. Getting into RoboCop.
Wild to me. Starring Peter Weller.
Yeah.
RoboCop again.
Wow.
Yeah.
How are we getting that? That's interesting.
Honestly, I'm kind of excited. I like the RoboCop franchise.
Yeah.
You know, it's very of its time. We get a fun game because the NES RoboCop games and RoboCop vs Terminator games were bad. And so I would actually dig a cool new.
They got to be better at least than those, right? Like,
I mean,
not a high bar.
Ray tracing. It's gonna be so shiny. Rune Factory 3 Special. Not to be confused with just regular old Rune Factory 3.
Right.
Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl.
Yeah. I'm
Hopefully that
excited.
game comes out
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah, that's another one that's been in development hell for a while.
Yeah.
That.
The whole war thing does not help,
No.
You know.
Yeah. That
unfortunately.
damn Russia.
Yep.
Sacrifier, Skim, one of those. Sea of Stars.
That is my most anticipated game of next year. It's by the guys
Really
from
now?
Messenger. It is it's in the
Come on.
Messenger universe, but it's a turn-based RPG. So it
Oh,
got
shit.
like Chrono Trigger vibes.
The writing though.
The writing in the Messenger is some of the best indie game writing ever, besides
Yes.
like Shovel Knight and Way Forward stuff. But like Sea of Stars looks amazing. If you are a RPG fan, especially as you get into like the Final Fantasy franchise, you were looking for more turn-based, like tried more turn-based RPGs. This looks like it's going to be dope.
Oh, so awesome.
Cool. I'll have to keep that on my radar. Skate Story, Slime Rancher 2. That game's not out yet?
Full release. I think it's early access right now.
Early access.
Yeah.
Okay. Why does everything come out in early access? Star Trek Resurgence, Star Wars Hunters, Starfield.
Supposedly, we will see.
Now the reason I said earlier Final Fantasy 16 is my most anticipated game with a release date.
Yeah.
This is my most anticipated game.
Yeah.
Overall, I live and breathe Bethesda RPGs. I love
That's
them
fair.
so much.
Legit.
And I am very, very excited for this. It is definitely going to be one of those things you were talking about earlier where it might just be too big.
Yeah.
Because
That's my worry.
It might be too big. It might be too big. Because I get that with open worlds. Like the Assassin's Creed game is way too big now.
Look, we just got that Witcher update. I love Witcher 3 so much. I want to replay it, but I can't.
It is very big. It is
too,
very
too
big.
much.
There's a lot. I am enjoying my time playing that though.
Me too.
Yeah, very excited for Starfield. Cannot wait. Mainly, like, I have to be honest. One of the reasons I'm more excited for Starfield is once this comes out, that means we're one step closer to Elder Scrolls 6.
It's a means to an end for you.
The unicorn.
It really is, Gaff. It really is a means to an end. Starship Troopers Extermination, Stellar Blade, which looks crazy. Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life. I'm not gonna try this next one.
I got you. Suikoden
Okay.
1 and 2 HD remasters. Suikoden 1 and 2 are like the definitive like tactics, like hero based games, RPGs in the PlayStation era, and they're getting HD remasters for modern consoles, and I'm very excited.
Super Bomberman R2.
Surprised that's
D2.
getting a sequel, but okay.
Yeah.
System Shock.
System Shock remake.
Yeah.
I want to believe it's going to be good, but I don't know.
Another
Just
we'll
don't
see,
know.
right?
Yeah. Who knows if it'll even come out next year too? Because that
Right.
one also keeps getting pushed back.
Yeah. Good luck with this next
Tachia.
one.
I am over the moon with excitement for this one. I always forget about it too until we get a new trailer, which we haven't gotten a trailer for a while, which is making me nervous. But very, very excited for this one. Looks cute as hell.
Yeah.
Tesla Grad 2, Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, The Dark Pictures Switchback VR, The Expanse, a Telltale series.
Oh.
I
Very
still need
excited.
to watch this show.
It is one of the best, it's one of the best science fiction shows I've watched because it handles political intrigue in a way that I actually gave a shit about. The cast is also incredible. But I'm excited about this. I'm bummed that it's a Telltale series, but it's really a ghost of a shell of Telltale. It's not really the same, like it is, but it isn't, like the whole, because they went under. But it's not going to stop me from buying it because the character that it follows, Drummer, is one of my favorite characters from the show, and so I'm excited for this. Also, I love the Telltale games. Like I've played a bunch of them, and they're always a good time.
The Invincible, The Last Case of Benedict Fox, The Legend of Heroes Trails into Reverie, the Light Brigade, the Lords of the Fallen, not to be confused with the first game, Lords of the Fallen, the Plucky Squire.
Looks really cool.
Yeah, it's a cool little indie. That's the storybook looking one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, where you hop out of the storybook and it's just like completely 3D. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What?
Yeah, it's really cute. I'm really excited about it.
Another Devolver published game. Like,
Yep.
Let's go. That looks sweet. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Why do many people think they need to put the at the beginning of their
Yeah,
games?
I don't understand.
The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, Chapter 2, Retribution.
probably a
Woo!
good VR game.
My friend's excited for that, so
Oh, okay.
shout out to him.
Shout out to Gas Friend. The Wandering Village. Another.
That one, where you're living on the back of the turtle. That one looks cool.
The Wolf Among Us 2.
Come on.
Please, to the almighty Norse gods, please be good.
Please be good. If this game is bad, I'm gonna be so upset because like the first game obviously ends with it being like kind of like there could be a sequel, but at the same time, it's like also feels like that could have been it.
Yeah.
But I am very, very excited for this game, and if it is bad, I am going to be very, very sad. So that first game is just so good. The Wreck, Thirsty Suitors, Time Flies, Tron Identity.
A Tron game.
Yeah,
Interesting.
cool. Ultimate Fishing Simulator 2.
Oh boy.
Now, I wouldn't be able to get into that. I love fishing mini games, but a game that's just about fishing, that sounds boring as hell. Under the Waves, V Riding, Valheim, and then Valheim again. What? It's weird that it's listed like that. Valiant Hearts, Coming Home, Venba, Viewfinder. This game yeah.
Yeah.
This is the one that was just at the Game Awards. This game looks really cool. Playing
The
with like perspective and stuff. Looks
different
awesome.
art styles. It just looks really awesome. Yeah.
Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2.
I cannot believe that game is getting a sequel. I loved the first one. It was like a Gears of War like, right?
Yeah,
It played
yeah.
just like it. And it was if you like Warhammer 40K, it's the same kind of BS. But like the fact that we're getting a sequel so many years later, I can't believe. I'm actually kind of stoked for that.
That game plays like Gears of War.
Yes, sir.
The first one, Space Marine, because you're playing as a squad.
Oh my
fighting
God.
like space goblins and space orcs. It's awesome. It's on Steam.
It is,
the
yeah.
first one. Yeah.
I might have to check that out. I didn't realize it was
It's a good entry
like that.
point.
I mean, I don't know anything about Warhammers.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
You just need to know how to point a gun and a chainsaw gun.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. I think wait. This next game is called Wayfinder.
Wayfinder, not
Is
Viewfinder.
Is this the one that was just at the Game Awards?
Yes,
Or was
that was the one
Viewfinder
with
the
the
one?
beta, I believe.
Were
With
they
Digital
both at the Game Awards?
Extremes? I can't
Oh,
remember.
they were okay. This is the one that Jacob wants us to play.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
Entering beta. So
We Are the Caretakers, Witchfire, World of Horror, WrestleQuest, You Suck at Parking coming to consoles, or I guess just
Mm.
it's on Xbox already,
this last one is interesting.
so it's coming to PlayStation. And then I don't know how to say that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes.
Nine?
9, yeah.
Monstrum Nox. So those are all the games. That was long. Those are all the games that have release dates or are expected to come out next year.
Yep.
It's a pretty stacked year.
Yeah.
It's pretty stacked year. It's gonna be crazy. But let's not spend any more time on 2023. Let's spend some time talking about what we've been playing, and we'll start with our guest.
Oh, I think
Matt, what have you been playing in the past couple weeks?
So a few different things. I'm always kind of juggling stuff, especially at the end of the year, trying to get stuff in for interviews or game devs that we're going to touch base with, and then just stuff that I want to play. As I mentioned earlier, I am replaying Control, and I am taking my time with it. I love the side quest. The thing I love about Control is that it builds this world in the oldest house, and then every interaction with a side quest or another AWE, like all of it is just steeped in narrative and storytelling. So it's really pretty on the PS5. I'm playing on performance mode because I'd rather smooth 60 instead of ray tracing. That's just my preference.
100%.
I've been spending a lot of time with that. I'm currently playing Little Gator Game, which is adorable. It's a little indie game about a little gator who builds this like RPG world on this island with cardboard cutouts to impress his sister. It has an aesthetic of a short hike. It's really cute. I'm going to be interviewing the creator of the game next year, and so we got review codes for it, me and my co-host, and so that's been fun to play. What else have I been playing? I wrapped up Pokemon last week, I think. I really enjoyed Scarlet, if nothing else, for the last 2 hours being the wildest last 2 hours of a Pokemon game ever.
Oh, I'm excited.
It's just
What could that possibly mean?
that's why I'm not telling you anything. It's really great, and
Oh man,
I really like the quality of life improvements in the game. It's a bummer that it struggled as much as it did because I really do love it. I think Arceus is still the better Pokemon game that came out this year. Let's see, what else have I been playing? I'm making my way slowly through Persona 5 Royal. Didn't vibe with the original Persona 5 on PS4, but having it as a handheld and being able to sit on the couch and play it bite-sized has been fun. So I've really been enjoying that. On the multiplayer side, I've been playing a lot of Fortnite. Not a game that before this year that I played much of, but some friends of mine got really into it. And honestly, playing in a squad of 4, it's a lot of fun when you're not by yourself. Like, and you get, and like, I used to pick the skins that I used. Now I just have it on shuffle, and it's been fun. I, of course, as a big Venom fan, have the Tom Hardy Venom skin. I have the Hawkeye skin. When Boba Fett came out, the Book of Boba Fett, and they had the skin for it, and I bought it day one, day and date without second thought. But that's been really fun. It's been my favorite multiplayer game to play with friends. And then I've also been playing a little Overwatch 2. Dramatics and bullshit aside with Activision and Blizzard, I've enjoyed what they've put in this version of the multiplayer game. I'm cautiously optimistic about the story stuff that's still to come. But I enjoy Overwatch, and Overwatch 2 is just more Overwatch, so I have very few complaints about that. What else have I been playing? I mentioned earlier I started God of War Ragnarok. I had COVID about a month ago, and while I was bedridden, I finally went back to 2017, 2018? Then
2018.
the first one came,
2018.
2018. And I was apparently, I had stopped right before the story like really kicked off. And so when I sat down with it, I blew through the story of the first game and loved it. Notoriously didn't love the God of War series. Was more of a Devil May Cry fan myself back in the day. So, but really enjoyed it. And like what I've played of Ragnarok, that opening scene with Thor and Odin is some of the coolest shit. Also, Richard Schiff as Odin is inspired casting.
It's
also
crazy.
Also, the fact that like I love that none of the other characters look like they're actors except Odin, because if you hire Richard Schiff to be Odin, you're gonna make him look like Odin.
Yeah.
But as a West Wing fan, like I love it. But yeah, that's kind of it. There's some stuff I'm hoping to jump on by the end of the year. I haven't even bought Midnight Suns yet, but I really want to play it. And there are a few other indie games. Tinykin, you mentioned earlier, is one that I've had code for a while and really want to get through, but I just haven't gotten around to it. But I loved what I played of it.
So fun. And like really creative.
And yeah, I think that's really it. I want to dive back into Shovel Knight Dig. I beat it when it first came out because we did a review for Fun and Games. We were lucky enough to get code for that. But I want to go back to it because when I said I beat it, the head over at Nitrom, who was apparently following my progress, said, "You haven't beaten, like you beat it. You rolled credits, but you haven't seen the whole story. If you like Shovel Knight, you need to do some more runs." And then, the last thing I'm playing, I went back to Hades. I rolled credits on Hades last year, but I never got the epilogue, which you have to do 10 more runs to get the epilogue.
Yes.
And after seeing the Hades 2 trailer, I was like, I'm going to go back to Hades. And so I'm on my third of the second 10 runs.
I will say the epilogue and everything following that is well worth the 10 runs. So
That's what I've heard. So yeah, and I love that game. I hate roguelikes, like, and I mean hate. And
oh
yet
no.
Hades, I'm not good at them. They're really hard, and
Yeah.
like I don't want to struggle that much when playing games most of the time. But Shovel Knight Dig and Hades have both proven to me, with accessibility options and options for players who are not good at these games, they can be a lot of fun.
You can turn on like what, Prince mode or something like that.
It's
or
called God mode in
God
Hades,
mode,
where
yeah.
like you every time you die, you get 2% more resistance. And so after a
Yes.
while, once you build up enough damage resist, you can kind of make your way through the game. And Shovel Knight Dig also had like you can give yourself more health or give yourself
I
like
love
more
those.
damage and like let people play these games, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
a big advocate for that. And so so yeah, Hades. And so yeah, I'm playing as always, I'm doing too much and playing too much.
Yep.
All right. Gaff, what have you been playing? Have you been playing anything down there in South Africa?
So one of Kristen's cousins, well, several of them do play games, and we've been playing Fall Guys.
Nice.
Whether together, the same house on several different platforms and TVs or online. Yeah, Fall Guys is fun. Wait, it's a new. When does the season start?
About a month ago, a little maybe. I feel
Okay,
like.
so goes to show how much I've been playing Fall Guys, but yeah, it's fun. Aside from that, don't really have much ways to play games. Besides potentially League of Legends later, but that's it.
League of Legends, a classic. I'll never get back into that.
Yeah.
Too dangerous. Too dangerous for me. Steven, what have you been playing?
So I beat High on Life, and this is probably what I'm going to talk about most. It's Justin Roiland joint Squanch Games. If you like Justin Roiland humor, you're really, really going to like this game. I think the rating where it's sitting at in most places, like 8, 7, high 7s, low 8s, right, is probably right where it belongs. It is for me personally, it's a great game. I loved it. Right when I thought it was getting a little long in the tooth with the formula that they have, like get an upgrade, talk to some alien dudes, get a lead on a bounty, go kill the bounty, come back. It's kind of the gameplay loop. It's very simplified the way I explain it. But the upgrade system is satisfying. The combat's like all of the guns talk to you, and that can be hit or miss, right? I hated some guns, and I really, really liked Kenny, which is like the main gun. I liked voiced by Justin Roiland himself. I really liked his lines. Some of the stuff he said was just hilarious. I have a clip on YouTube where you're going through this like paperwork simulator. You're pressing different buttons on prompts on these papers. You're setting them to the side, and there's quite a bit of them, and you get done with your first stack, right? And it's like, oh, okay, job well done. And then it's like, fuck you. And on the paper, one of them that drops another stack, right? Soon as you're done, he's like, surely we're done right now, right? And so you get through that second stack, and he's like, there can't possibly be a third stack. And the third stack comes down, and it's like, well, okay, you got me. So stuff like that, humor bits. I think the controls could have used more time to polish a little more. Things could be a little tighter. Obviously, it's not like as good as anything like a Destiny gameplay or a Doom gunplay, but
Are you playing on were you playing on mouse and keyboard or controller?
I did controller for all of it, Xbox. So yeah, the game is actually really pretty in some areas, and like crazy that they could make this type of game with their smaller, I guess, studio. It's like 60 people now, but then also like some things don't look really good in some areas too, so you gotta take your sacrifices somewhere, I guess. Yeah, I encourage you, if you enjoy Rick and Morty or that style of humor, if not for the humor alone in the game, which definitely carried the game forward, definitely play that game. There's some absurd stuff in that game, and I really liked it. So That's High on Life. I tried Witcher 3, but I'll get into that later. We're gonna do like a separate big thing on it. Really liking my playthrough so far. I'm about 10 hours in now. That's all I could really manage with all the other games coming out. I'll get more into that later, but I think they've made some meaningful upgrades to the game, and it's given me an excuse to go back and really enjoy the game. The 60 FPS is definitely something I didn't know I needed until we had it. Yeah, it looks damn pretty. Like they incorporated a lot of the community mods to it, to up the textures and like environmental things like fog, and I don't know.
Oh my gosh, dude, the fog looks so good.
Yeah, we're gonna do.
I was chilling out in the swamp when I was playing yesterday or 2 days ago, and it was just like incredible.
You just stop and you look at the vistas in that game, and it's just incredible. Especially with the 60 frames and the trees swaying and stuff. Yeah. But again, yeah, we're gonna do a video about that later, like a separate one, because there's a lot to dive into. But I also played, and this is so Final Fantasy VII Remake. I was going to get a PS5, and then I went the series way, and so I just kind of haven't really played Remake until now. Epic had a sale on it, so I picked it up for like $30, some crazy deal. And I'm about 3 hours, I want to say, into it. Yeah, sounds about right. But those opening scenes, man, in Remake are something special.
Yeah.
As someone who is a longtime Final Fantasy fan and just begrudgingly haven't gotten to this, like everyone's like, oh, you got to play it. I am thoroughly awed so far with the game. Cloud is a badass. Like, yeah.
The great thing about the beginning of that game is that like there's the cutscene that plays, but that it doesn't fool around. It gets you like right into the game. Like you're playing the game like right away, and it doesn't mess around. You're not fooling around like doing some weird setup to the game. You're in the game. You're doing a mission. You're fighting things. Like love it.
What I love is that seeing my childhood memories of 7, like what it could actually look like in those cities with all the people chilling around in the slums and the bar, and like I'm just freaking out, man. Like my inner nostalgia is being tickled, and it's like, oh my god, I 1000% look forward to mainlining, or I guess mainlining in the sense like I'm gonna shut out every other game so I can play this game after the end of this year, because I have to get to some stuff right for the podcast and things like that. But I'm that's high priority for me next year, if there's any lull at all. So
yeah, if you want something to tug on your heartstrings, the voice actress who plays Aerith, whose name escapes me at the moment, she's also a streamer, and she's done all the video recording, but had not like seen any of it. Like she just did it, and it was off to the races. She plays the opening scene and like plays that first scene where Cloud first meets Aerith.
Yep.
And like she just starts to cry on stream because she hears her performance with the character. It's really touching. So if you want to, I think you could probably Google to find it, but it's definitely worth checking out.
I'm not gonna lie, when you first meet her and then I'm like, chills, you know, like yeah.
Absolutely.
Incredible. I can't wait to get back to it. I think that's pretty much it for my like games I want to touch on. We'll get into more Witcher later, like I was saying, but I guess Sam, it's
Yes. All right. So I'll hit on ones that you've played. I played The Witcher 3. Again, love the game. Like top 3 games of all time for me. Absolutely adore it. I also started High on Life last night. I've probably only played 3 hours of it. And I'm not a Rick and Morty fan. Like I've never watched Rick and Morty. I've watched Aqua Teen Hunger Force, but not Rick and Morty. But I'm enjoying it. It's not as obnoxious to me as Borderlands is.
right.
So yeah, I'm enjoying it. I think it's pretty funny. I've pretty much tried to shoot everybody I've came across in that game. And my gun keeps telling me not to shoot people. I'm like, damn it.
The kid, did you shoot the kid?
Oh, I shot that kid like right away.
No, I didn't shoot the kid.
He like called me a coward or something, and I was like, no,
he keeps pushing you,
not
and he's
gonna
like
fly.
a bully, and it's like, dang.
Like, come on.
And his mom, the funny thing is his mom, I guess spoilers,
like, doesn't
right?
care.
She's like, yeah, just kill him. I don't care. He's rude. I'll be without him. It's
like, he's actually like 30.
Yeah,
like it's young in their species, but not not overall. Yeah, enjoying High in Life. I think it controls pretty well, actually.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm playing on PC, so
Oh, okay.
the mouse and keyboard, it's perfect for that first person. I can hear my dad cheering the Lions on. They're obviously just scored or something. I finished Pentiment. That it's a good game. Like I really enjoyed my time with it. It's very long, like for what it is. For the type of game it is too long. It drags on quite a bit in the third chapter. And for a game that, like, your decisions are supposed to kind of matter. Like obviously one character's not going to make all the difference, but there's a specific moment in the game where I just went, oh, because it felt like you just completely lost control of the main character. I was like, oh. And from there on, I was just like the writing is good throughout the whole thing. The writing is exceptional. Really enjoyed it. I think Obsidian has some of the best writers in the industry. Especially with like dialogue specifically. But yeah, there's just one moment where from that moment on, I was just like, I want this kind of be over. Clicking through things a lot faster than I was previously, but still enjoyed it overall. And then the last game I've played this week was Crisis Core. And this is the first time I've played Crisis Core. Obviously, I didn't have a PSP. I wasn't playing Final Fantasy back then. Really enjoying it. You can tell it's a PSP game.
Yeah.
There's a ton of missions for like side missions that you can just do to like grind and level up. And I'm really OP right now. I already have all the like higher level spells, like GA level spells or whatever you want to call them, GA tier spells. Really enjoying it. The limit and summon like ability cutscenes that play during combat are insane. And like you can skip them, but for the most part I have not been skipping them because I just like to just sit back and watch because it's just amazing. Like the one for Odin is awesome. And I liked the Odin summon in Final Fantasy 7, the original, and I just was like, holy crap, that's insane. This what is displaying before me. But it is nice that you can skip them because like every once in a while you do like a boring limit that's just kind of like punch this guy a few times. So yeah, really enjoying Crisis Core. The story's really interesting, and some of the dialogue is really cheesy, but I think one of the lines is if humans had wings, they'd be monsters. Like, what?
It's the beginning of that like Final Fantasy 7 BS that we all know and love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like modern, because like there was that kind of writing in the original 7 as well. I can't wait for you to get to the end of Crisis Core, a game that we all know how it ends.
Yes.
But like I remember just playing it on PSP, that final cutscene ruining me emotionally, and so I don't know if you're a crier, but let's just say
not too much, but
it's impactful. If you felt stuff during Remake, then I think Reunion will make you feel things too.
Remake is one of the few games that has brought tears to me.
Yeah.
So.
I'm excited for people to, because I played this when it initially came out on the PSV, right? And so obviously I'm not going to jump into it. There's no new content to my knowledge, so those final hours though are something special, like that game. So looking forward to hear what Sam thinks of that.
Same.
Yeah, thoroughly enjoying it. All right, well, that was a long episode. Matt, thank you so much for being here. You're obviously way more experienced in this. It means the world to us that you
Of
are
course.
guesting
Yes,
on
thank
the
you very
show.
much.
Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun. I a rising tide raises all ships, right? Like I love having folks guest on shows. We do a series on fun and games called Side Quests, where every episode a different host does like a 5 to 15 minute talk about a game they love and why they love it. I have a running list. We've aired almost 200 episodes. If any of y'all want to do one, hit me up on Twitter. I'll send you the list. It sounds like there are quite a few games that you could wax eloquence against that probably aren't on that list because, but this was a blast. Thank you for having me. If folks want to find me, I'm DJ_Stormageddon on most social media. I'm most active on Twitter while it still exists. Who knows how long that'll be. But you can also go to djstormageddon.com. I have my merch there, my Ko-fi, all of the podcasts that I host, edit, or produce. But this was a fun time. Thank you all for having me. This is great.
Of course.
I will 100% be checking out your Mass Effect podcast. I'm very excited to open that.
Do it.
Now, how many episodes of that are there?
So we broke it up into seasons, but we definitely are, I think, over 200 episodes. We're finishing up season 4, which is the Andromeda season. But season 1 starts with Mass Effect 1. We talk about why we're doing the podcast, and it goes from there. So if you're a Mass Effect fan, starting from the first episode, I think is a great place to start. If you want to jump into the recent stuff, season 4, like I said, we jumped into Andromeda, which I am playing for the first time, and my co-host is shepherding me through it. See what I did there? Thank you. But it's a lot of fun, and we're just about to wrap up season 4. We might take a little break and then come back for season 5, where a certain series that is also very popular amongst BioWare fans is probably where we're headed next. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it, and definitely stay in touch. This was a blast. I'd love to come back sometime.
Yes, same to you. Of course.
Yeah. Thank you. So yeah, that is it for the year for X Interact.
Yeah.
That is our last episode. We will be back on, I believe, January 8th.
Right?
For our, I believe is that Sunday? Yeah, because New Year's Day is
Yeah.
a Sunday. So January 8th is the first day we'll be back live on twitch.tv/xinteract. We'll be doing our Game of the Year special, where we will have our top 5, each have our top 5 game of the year. But until then, thank you for watching.
Thanks, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye.